Hey, I'm Kirsty, welcome to Swing Seeds, and today me and Muggy are going to talk about a great loss I had, my first loss in the garden and in my experience of growing, and it was super sad, so there is hope at the end of it, so stay tuned. So, one of the first things that I was growing here on my patio were tomato plants. Well, I actually started them indoors, on the windowsill in the kitchen. I had two, not these two that I'm pointing at right now, but I had another two, and I think they were a little bit bigger than that, and they were strong, they were healthy, they were the first tomato plants that I had ever grown, because I have never gardened before, so I was really excited. I was super proud of myself, and I had put them outside to harden off, and literally like the first day, it was a little bit windy and a gust of wind came along and blew over a wooden pallet and literally snapped the two tomato plants clean in half. It was like right above the bottom two branches, so it was like round about here, and I was actually devastated. I was so sad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear. My sister gave me a hug and I was just like, oh, it's game over for these guys. And I didn't have the heart to like rip them out of the pot, so I left them and left one outside and one in the greenhouse, and lo and behold, they are still alive. Like, I couldn't believe it. Look there, that's where it chopped off, that's where it snapped off, and there was only this branch left, this one here, and it proceeded to grow anew. And it just taught me a lesson, not to give up hope. And I didn't have the heart once I saw that they were still alive. What's that? What is that? Wait, where are you? Where are you? What are you? Oh, there I go, my sunglasses. I don't know what it is, but it can come off. Or maybe it could be a birdseed, to be honest. Anyway, sorry. So yes, do not give up hope when you think all is lost. You're stronger than you think. And if I take you to see the other one over here, this one I believe was the worst. This one I really thought was a goner, because as you see, it snapped off right there, and I can't even remember if that branch was there or if it was just a stump or what happened, but as you can see, it's still alive. And actually, if I just quickly go back to the other one, I believe, where did I see it had any beginnings? Yes, there we go. If we can just get the camera to focus. Too close. Right there. Right there. The beginnings of, well, I don't actually know anything about anything, so I believe that'll turn, or they will turn into a flower, and then those flowers will turn into tomatoes. So yeah, look at that. When you think all hope is lost. I'm sure there's a song for that. But these guys, I actually had as seedlings on the go. They were only a couple of inches tall when the first disaster struck, so I did have a backup, but it was a bit late in the game. I could have actually been on the road to tomatoes. I mean, I am on the road to tomatoes. One of these actually has got some, whatever it is that you call them. There you go. It's this little guy right here. Can you see him? Well, they're right here. So they're going to produce tomatoes. So basically, even though I was super devastated that I thought both those tomato plants, which I'd put all my time and effort into caring for, and they were the first things that I've ever grown before, and was super upset when they got chopped in half, both of them. Half of the fat was my fault because I'd intended to bring them in and I hadn't. And literally 2 minutes before I went outside, a big gust of wind came and the board fell, and that was that. But anyway, there is hope in the story because they survived. They lived and nature did its own thing. I didn't even try to revive them or take care of them. I just left them outside and they were like, they did their own thing and they lived. So moral of the story is don't give up hope, I guess. And what I learned is that if there's even just the tiniest, littlest leaf that's green that's left on a plant, there's still hope for survival. So don't just go and chuck them out, I guess, because now, even though I don't imagine this little guy is gonna produce all that much fruit, still gonna give it something, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them live out their life, because who am I to say otherwise? So thanks for joining me and listening to this experience, which happened really early on, and I was kind of glad because I knew that as soon as something went wrong I was going to get a bit discouraged. So it was such a severe thing and it was so early on that yeah, it was a good punch, but I've continued on, if not flourished. I mean, look around me, stuff everywhere, greenness everywhere, and it looks so much better. So yeah, thanks very much for sharing this with me. Take care, keep gardening, give it a shot if you haven't. I'd strongly recommend it. Until next time.